Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a happy Halloween and a great Dia de los Muertos. It is Monday, November 2nd. We're one day away from Election Day and 3 weeks away till our Thanksgiving break. Let's go ahead and get started. Today is all about review. Last week we covered lots of information, so we kind of want to take a minute, go back and see what were we talking about. Today we will review major concepts about the American government after the Revolutionary War. Why is this important? In order to understand how our government is designed, we look at past problems. And today, you will complete a series of small group discussions that are very important and a 3-2-1 exit ticket. Let's go ahead and get started. So we have a book that is a great way to review what happened after the signing of the Treaty of Paris. On September 3rd, 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially ending the American Revolution. 13 colonies had won their independence from England. A new country was born. Hooray, freedom! Now we govern ourselves. Are we ready? And you can see the states here, Massachusetts, Maryland, and Georgia. The new country was called the United States of America, but it was not united. Each state had its own leaders and its own government. The states were like 13 separate countries, okay? So you can look around and see what the different states are saying. All right, I like New Hampshire saying, I'll make my own decisions, thank you very much, okay? We're on our own now. I know what's best for me. That's what Massachusetts is saying. And this is basically like exactly like it was after the king fell out of power. Each state kind of wanted to take care of themselves, and this was where the Articles of Confederation stepped in. The country operated under a document called the Articles of Confederation. This political system gave the national government very little power. Each state took care of its own business without interference or help from anyone. Independence, that's what we fought for. I love being my own boss. So remember, in the plan of the Articles of Confederation, that balance of power of federalism, they gave the states lots of power and the federal, national, and central government very little power. So here's where we stop and discuss. You're going to be put into small groups quickly to answer this question with a partner. Why is it a problem that each state be their own boss? We'll pause here. Okay, thank you for your thoughts and opinions. So again, remember the system of government that we use today in the United States is called federalism. It's a principle or rule, the idea that there's 2 levels of government to help secure the nation. So here we have our image from our notebook, a reminder of some examples in the state government and in the federal, national, central government. Now, when states are stronger than the federal government, it's like having it's like having children at home that have more power than their parents, which can lead to problems. Another big idea we learned about last week was that the only branch of government during the Articles of Confederation was the legislative branch, also known as Congress, and their job was to write the laws. Now, in the Articles of Confederation, we know that the federal government had lots of problems. For example, they couldn't tax. There was no national military, and there was a lack of judicial and executive branch. However, there were some things that the government could do. The federal government could wage war, sign peace treaties, deliver mail, and create money. So just to kind of get a better idea of what the government was like back then, we had one branch. Abilities are here listed, and of course the weaknesses that caused lots of problems. So in order for you to visualize, again, one representative from each state, that's what made up Congress in the Articles of Confederation. That's 13 people total, okay? You can see down here these drawings representing Congress. And in order to change anything, a law, for example, 9 out of 13 had to agree which was very difficult because states had different ideas, guys. So we're going to stop and discuss now again. 9 out of 13 agreeing on a decision was difficult, all right? How would you change this issue to make it easier for the legislative branch to make changes or decisions? Go ahead and break out into your groups to discuss. Thank you for sharing your opinions. So we're going to take a break here and analyze our political cartoon for today. You have a ship that says the Articles of Confederation, and on the sides, no national court system, no power to enforce treaties, no power to enforce the laws, no power to raise an army or to collect taxes. The question you're going to be answering is, why do you think the artist chose the title Rough Sailing Ahead? Okay, go ahead and write it down on a sheet of paper, and we're going to share out together now as a class. Thank you. So our final lesson of the week was an event called Shays' Rebellion, which happened in 1786. Revolutionary War veterans go unpaid and cannot pay Massachusetts taxes, which in the end results in the nation realizing the Articles of Confederation plan will not work. So they plan to restructure the power in the federal government and add more branches. This is where we left off. We're going to talk about how that balance of federalism is going to be fixed. They've got to make that federal government stronger, okay? So we're going to be adding these two branches that we discussed last week, the executive and judicial branch. We're going to see the federal government get nice and strong so it can secure our nation along with the local state leaders. So the Constitutional Convention is what we'll be discussing tomorrow. It took place in 1787, and delegates from each state came to discuss rewriting the plan for the government that would become known as the Constitution. Today, ladies and gentlemen, now we've finished the class. In the Google Classroom, you have an exit ticket. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to be doing 3 things you learned about our government today, 2 things you found interesting, and 1 question you still have about the Articles of Confederation. Once you've turned this in, you're done for the day. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great Monday.